Officially, the wait is over. We got our first look at the new gameplay of Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is now updated with refinements and improvements, and it really shows us that the delay was kinda worth it. Before starting this video, we want to make this clear that no, we were not invited to play the game.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Because maybe our channel was not up to the mark, which would have included us for the review or the early gameplay test. So this makes this review 100% pure and genuine, meaning that everything that we'll be saying in this video will be our own personal opinion and we are not influenced by any external factor. Let it be paid promotion or some other factor, whatever you want to call it, it's not influenced by that. We will try to keep this video as short as possible while still making it a bit entertaining so that you get the point of what the video is about and also learn a thing or two. So for convenience, this video will be divided into 5 particular parts where firstly we will discuss about combat, exploration, parkour, characters, and then lastly story and the overall miscellaneous features. So coming up first, the first thing immediately I saw as the gameplay began was the prologue. This time, unlike Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Odyssey, Origins, or even Mirage's demo, we never saw any story elements. In those games, we only got a few pieces and bits of the storyline or even side arcs which were not even connected to the main game and they were presented to us in the gameplay demo. But luckily this time we actually got a bit of sneak peek on the storyline, and it was mainly because of the fact that they really improved the cutscene quality. You can clearly see in some of the cutscenes that it's mocap, and this is the thing that I was very dearly missing in the franchise. Ever since Assassin's Creed Origins, the game just disappeared these kinds of cutscenes which actually showed emotions, and I guess this is the major part of why newer characters don't have this amount of depth. So it turns out the Shadows will definitely use a good mocap system to actually capture the emotions of the characters. Maybe they will be less than Origins, but still larger than Odyssey and Valhalla and Mirage combined. One good thing about the entire sequence was that we never got our story spoiled. Even if they did show us the prologue, but it was only limited to certain sections which would get us into the game. So the answer to that question is no, we didn't see any assassins. They were only referenced, but it wasn't enough to satisfy the hunger of the old school Assassin's Creed fans. So in a more easy way, we can say that this prologue was a tutorial level so that you get to know about the basics of the game. But if I'm to be a little more honest, although the cutscenes were perfect in some scenes, but a lot of the times it just felt like the voices don't do justice with the facial animations. Sometimes when our character is speaking in a lighter tone, the facial expressions are very heavy, which just takes away the overall feel of emotions that the character is portraying. And in some sections, the characters are speaking very heavily with emotion, but the facial animations don't do justice.
You said you wanted help. Now's the time.
But they're still pretty much superior to the lifeless ones we saw in Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Valhalla, hell even Mirage, so that's a plus. Moving away from storyline, let's dive a bit deeper into combat because this time we actually got to see it in a more refined way. Back in June 2024, we never got to see the full potential of this system because it was shown to us in a very limited way. We did saw gameplay, but it looked unfinished and not refined much. But this time, after the delay, 2 delays consecutively, the combat has been significantly improved. And unlike Assassin's Creed Syndicate, this time the characters actually feel different and unique from one another. In Syndicate, we also had 2 characters, Jacob and Evie, and both were promoted to be entirely different from one another. But in the game, we literally saw no difference, aside from skill tree, and that was pretty much it. In Shadows, on the other hand, characters are totally different. Yasuke is built for combat, whereas Naoe is not. And judging by the gameplay that I saw on various sites, it is 100% true. Yasuke feels heavy and cannot parkour, he's slow, but he's very much of a beast in combat. He can kill any enemy with ease, unlike Naoe, who is good in stealth, good in speed, good in parkour, but lacks the combat. And if you're like me, who wants to test these characters in their irrespective categories, then you will be in for a treat. Cause Naoe is like a glass cannon and will die in 1 or 2 hits by the enemy, whereas Yasuke won't be able to do stealth as he will alert everyone. But this isn't just it. if we exclusively talk about combat as a whole, then it's pretty much better than the previous systems. The counters in this game are actually like parries. A well-timed parry can result in a good attack and a good counter, and a badly timed parry can even get you killed. Although the overall infrastructure is just the same, the enemies are literal damage sponges. You have to slice them 5 or 6 times with the katana and then they will die based on your level and the enemy's level. But the attacks actually feel heavy and it actually looks like you've inflicted damage upon them, which separates it from the previous titles. In Mirage specifically, the light attacks that Basim did actually felt like swipes, and it just felt like he was hitting thin air. But in Shadows, the case is completely different. Although we haven't played the game ourselves, but just by looking at it, it actually feels heavy, so you can imagine how it would feel like if you play it. And yes, both of these characters have their own unique weapons which are limited to them. You cannot use the Hidden Blade with Yasuke, but only with Naoe. And similarly, the heavier weapons are limited to Yasuke because he is the only one capable of wielding them. So it's a nice touch that they gave both of these characters their own unique personality instead of just making them one. So in this way, let's just say if you're looking for a more direct and head-on approach, you can just choose Yasuke, and if you're looking for a more stealthy approach, you can choose Naoe and then complete the mission as you please. And I forgot to mention, they reintroduced the Hidden Blade combat. After Assassin's Creed Rogue, this system just vanished out of the blue, but they brought it back with Shadows and it looks better now. But that's pretty much it for combat. We never saw any new or revolutionary improvements, although if I missed something then be sure to let me know in the comment section below. But besides these changes that I mentioned, it's 90% the same, with a bit of refinement. Moving towards open world and exploration, the game's map and the overall design UI is similar to the previous games. There's nothing new in that. The whole system of you unfogging the map as you move to that particular area and you have to physically go there to reveal the entire map is just the same without any changes. The gray color palette, the same icons, and even the sound effects, they're all taken from previous games, and it makes sense because it gives a sense of relativity. But if we talk about the map itself, it's smaller than Odyssey's. It's a good thing. It's also smaller than Valhalla's map, but larger than Origin's map. So you can say that this game is a mixture of all of these 3 games, so you will get a balanced experience. Because a larger map doesn't always guarantee you a better experience. We saw that with Odyssey because major portions of the game were just copy and pasted here and there. And trust me, whenever I used to explore, I felt like I was going to the same location over and over again. But hopefully Shadows will make full use of the new technology and will give us a unique and balanced experience. Just like Assassin's Creed Valhalla's settlement system, we this time have a hideout. The hideout will feature as an HQ for us for our operations, and we can switch between Naoe and Yasuke here as well. And it is customizable, it is upgradable, so you can do any sort of thing that you want with it. Also, another thing that I really liked about the hideout is that you can actually see your armors getting displayed there, a nice touch similar to Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and Revelations. If we talk about open world activities, then this game introduces a lot of new ones. In the hideout, now we can do a side activity known as meditation, which will remind you heavily of the mission from Grand Theft Auto 5 where Michael does yoga.
Somebody say yoga?
It'll give you XP in return, which will increase your overall level. Then if we talk about another amazing activity, it's much similar to Red Dead Redemption 2, where we can now actually update our compendium, or in Assassin's Creed universe, codex. Now, instead of the codex entries appearing randomly on the screen whenever you encounter a new animal species or another character, this time, in order to learn about them, you have to sneak and then observe them from a distance. After that, now it will create a portrait of that creature, species, or anything which you observe, and it will be added into your codex. There are some other activities as well which you probably know of, including the bamboo cutting one where you have to use your katana to cut all the bamboos at once, and some other activities, but since you already know about them, so there's no point about talking. But one major upgrade that we saw is the seasoning system. We already mentioned this quite a lot of times in our videos regarding Assassin's Creed Shadows, but the seasoning system will give you 4 different looks of the same map. So it's not like you will see the same version of the map for the entirety of the game, you will see different variations of the same map. In winter, there will be no bushes, so you will see the same version of the area, but in a different light, in a different variation. One thing that really nicked me was the same horse animations. We've been seeing the same animation for the past 7 or 8 years ever since Assassin's Creed Origins, and I actually thought that Ubisoft will change it because it feels so boring and repetitive. The horse functions, moves, and even runs the same way. They could have done something new, but they didn't. But what's happened has happened. But if we talk about the open world and exploration as a whole, it's better. It's refined and it's polished, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. So this leads us to the end of our video. We were really impressed by the improvements and the refinements that Ubisoft did to improve the game as a whole, and as compared to the previous gameplay footages that we saw, it definitely looks and feels better. Even the smallest things have been taken note of and improved. But this thing only gives us an indication that Ubisoft is not messing around this time and they're planning to give something for us to enjoy. I missed a few things, including the Animus Hub, which isn't anything new, it's just the same old launcher which everybody was calling Assassin's Creed Infinity a few years ago, and its only function is to launch different and new Assassin's Creed games while also giving you new missions in the gameplay so that you earn rewards. We still don't know how they will connect the modern day to the Animus Hub and how it will play out, but everything will be revealed in the future hopefully. So if I give my summary on this whole thing, then I'm definitely excited and looking forward to playing Assassin's Creed Shadows. Let us know in the comment section what are your favorite things and what are your favorite features that have been improved and refined in this new version. So for more Assassin's Creed related content, make sure to subscribe, and if you like this video, then make sure to give it a big thumbs up. We'll see you in another interesting and amazing video. Till then, take care and goodbye.